Welcome back to the video blog. Adam Daniel Mezei is my name, your PMD, producer of marketing and distribution, PMDforhire.com. Thanks again for watching. You're seeing Fort Lauderdale on ice behind me, city known as Toronto, otherwise known as Toronto. If you haven't seen this film yet, I wonder why. Catnapping, Torsten Chris Gritschke. Interesting little romantic comedy shot in Brussels with American actors. Romantic comedy? Brussels? Anyway, I'm a big fan of Mitch Joel, and for those of you who don't know who Mitch Joel is, he's the head man at the 130-strong Twist Image, or as they say in here up in the Great White North, Twist Image. Twist Image. So he is the creative director, CEO, blogger, podcaster, what have you, and he has a show called 6 Pixels of Separation. SPOS. I listened to show 230 with Neville Hobson. He's a British podcaster. He does a PR and marketing podcast himself called For Immediate Release, the Hobson and Holtz Show. What's the point? What am I trying to say here? Well, they had a really good chinwag for about an hour long on episode 230 of 6 Pixels of Separation. It's a chance for Mitch Joel to get into conversations with various professionals, that he interacts with. And one of the things they were talking about was about how podcasting trumps videocasting, how podcasts are better than video blogs, and how you can have a more kind of fulsome discussion on a podcast that has a lot more of a punch, that packs a more value add, that packs a little bit more of an informational wallop than a video blog does. The talking heads approach, something that I'm doing with you right now, is not necessarily something that Mitch Joel and Neville Hobson have seen provide a great deal of return on investment, at least their time investment in putting that particular kind of thing out. Even though they both dabble with video blogs, I kind of was thinking about that a little bit more over the past couple of days. Now, I come to this whole blogging thing as a podcaster. As of 3 or 4 years ago, I was doing podcasting and enjoying it quite a lot. In fact, I was doing a lot of audio dispatches, daily stuff. People would listen to my various MP3 recordings. I was told even some people in the States were downloading them and listening to them, in their cars and such on their commutes. It's not as easy, I guess, with a video blog. And I guess at some stage I might get back to some podcasting, but I like videocasting because I think it's more of an impactful, full sensory type of an informational exchange. Naturally, of course, it doesn't have the facility that a podcast would, but with the kind of mobile technology and the iPads and the things, the various tablet technologies that I'm seeing, I don't see video blog being an impediment to actually taking in information. I could see how people would be distracted if the video blogger is kind of really active. If the externals of the video blogger are like really loud and crazy, then I can see how people might not necessarily want to tune into a video blog. But if it's just a talking head conveying information, it's like half a dozen of the other, I think. And you also get a chance to see the various sceneries that the video blogger is taking the particular video blog at. Now, for the past few weeks, I've been doing the video blog from here in my backyard, so you don't really have a chance to see other places that I go to. And typically, in the past, I was kind of shuffling up the venue so you'd have a chance to see other things going on behind me. But for now, we're doing it in the single setting. I'm not exactly convinced that Mitch and Neville are exactly right. I think their reticence in terms of expressing hosannas of joy for video blogs comes about as a result of the fact that they might not necessarily be video blog friendly type of broadcasters. In other words, they don't necessarily want to go in front of a camera because they don't look like they should be in front of a camera or what have you. Although I've seen several of Mitch Joel's video blogs and I think they're all excellent, and Mitch kind of organizes his thoughts very nicely. It's all part of a communications fist, I would say, just being able to convey ideas via words and video blogs and podcasts. I remember about a year ago I had somebody tell me you can't do it all. You can't do all 4 of those particular prongs. You've got to focus on one and really do it. Well, yeah, I suppose that's true, but I'm not exactly sure that you don't get a lot of impact out of a video blog. If a video blogger is good, they're able to convey information quickly. And they're able to convey information that's probably a great deal more impactful than a podcast, because I can look at you. Well, naturally, the sun's in my eyes, so I need to actually wear my sunglasses. But just this to say that people like Lauren Feldman at 1938 Media, or Mitch Joel when he's really rocking the video blog, or people like Vincent Ferrari at Insignificant Thoughts TV, talk about a video blog that really leaves an impact. Vinny really knows what he's talking about. And when he slices together effects, and when he uses really interesting editing, I think that is a hell of a lot more impactful than some run-of-the-mill podcast. One could even go so far as to say that making a video blog probably summons a little bit more of the person than a podcast would. I've got to be ready. I've got to look ready. I can't hesitate. I can't let things distract me, whereas if you're on an audio cast, you can just yammer on and on and on. Now, that's not to say that you're not conveying information. It's just a different kind of a mindset. You bring a different game to the table, and you better well believe when I'm doing these video blogs that I try to bring as close to my A game as possible, and that's not a play on words or a pun. You got to bring what your very best, because you know that a lot of people are paying attention to what's going on right in front of them and right over my shoulders and around me. It definitely made me think the minute I heard that line, and I think Neville Hobson was the one who had mentioned it, who said he doesn't think there's any value whatsoever in a talking head video blog. He thinks it's absolutely self-absorbed, self-gratifying. There's virtually no information that anybody can take out of a video blog, and I'm not necessarily sure that that is the case, because I've received some very interesting commentaries from people that agree or disagree, pick or pan, or whatever you respond to, however it strikes you. I've had people send me their feedback, and this is as a result of this video blog. And if it wasn't for this video blog, a lot of things wouldn't be happening. I can definitely say that in terms of my film career, and I can say that in terms of other things. You need to see who you're talking to. You need to see if that person can actually deliver a message on point. Moreover, if I'm going to be doing public speaking, you need to see how I behave in front of an audience, so to speak, how I'm kind of interacting with you and what I'm doing and as I'm responding in the space. I think the video blog is a perfect platform for that, as opposed to a podcast, which is very, again, shielded, hidden, and it has a completely different dynamic. So that's my thoughts in response to 6 Pixels of Separation, SPOS, episode 230, and as always, from here in Fort Lauderdale on ice. I think you know this operation, excuse me, and I think you know this particular film, right over here. Catnapping, Torsten Chris Gritschke, wishing you the very best of things. And did you catch the lunar eclipse last night? I was out watching it, and I got some video for you. Join me on Facebook, facebook.com/TheRealADM if you want to take a look at some of those clips. See ya.